Trying to get things set up here, guys. The wind is kind of moving around today, so I had to get mic'd up here. Give you guys a little while to come in here. I gotta get my coffee mixed up. Oh, hey Tim, what's up? Tim Shizminski. Good morning. Oh man, I've got gotten around kind of later again this morning. Trying to set up in a little different spot. I hope the video and audio is better this time. I guess in this part of my yard I have looks like 4 bars, so that's a little better than my back porch. Can you hear me pretty good? I hope you can hear me perfect. All right, good. Yeah, I'm using my lavalier mic right here. It's pretty windy today, so I got the Mustang here in the background this morning. Kind of got my vehicles parked around me, trying to block the wind a little bit and to keep people from wanting to stop by just because they see me sitting out here. Hey Jason, Ilkanaram, what's up? Good morning. So yeah, it's Monday again already. I woke up about 5:30 this morning to my alarm going off. I finally set an alarm for 5:30 on Mondays to get up. And I was thinking, why is my alarm going off? Then I realized, oh yeah, it's Monday. I got to get up and do the Monday live show. Just fine. Cool. Awesome. Let's see how many other people might come on in this morning. So today I've got to start calling around to the salvage yards and to Ford and all that kind of stuff and see if I can get the fuse and relay box for this car. Nice coffee cup. Yeah, it is a nice coffee cup. I got this from MT Homestead at the 41.36. I was making breakfast for Mike and Terry over there. And of course, you know, you had come on Homesteading over there. He was fixing up a big old breakfast, and I had brought a big, I think it was like 3 or 4 pounds of bacon, and I was just using a little skillet. So I had to actually take, you know, like half of the bacon I brought over there to David at Come On Homesteading. And how expensive is that part? I don't know. That's what I got a call about this morning. It's a dealer only part, so the only place you're going to get it is at the Ford dealership or from a salvage yard. The salvage yard we have around here, if they have it, I would imagine it'd probably only cost me maybe $20, $25. I'm pretty good friends with that guy over there, so if he has just the part that I need, then it shouldn't be very much. But that is, from what I understand now, that's actually a pretty common issue on these. I'm hoping it's not going to be too expensive. I mean, if I go buy it from Ford, it could be at least $100. I mean, it seems like Every time I find something for a Mustang, it's at least $100. It's a sensor or whatever. That's what it seems like anyway. Got 3 people in here. Oh, yeah. It's a nice morning. I thought it was going to rain, but it's cleared up, so not too bad here. It's a little humid, nice and warm. Feels good. But anyways, yeah, that's where I got my coffee cup. Got sidetracked there. Yeah, paying for the name. Yeah, that's kind of how it is with Ford or anybody, especially if it's going on a Mustang or some kind of muscle car or something. Morning, Crazy Ed. I stopped by your live. I think it was yesterday for just a minute. I was pretty busy though, so I didn't say nothing. I just kind of hung out for a minute. Looks like you're having fun out there trucking. I may end up having to go back into trucking. I don't know. I got to start getting some money coming in, so I don't know. If I can do local driving around here, that'd probably be a little more suiting for me. That way I can still do the milling and stuff and some woodworking. I've actually got some orders on the wooden coffee cups already. There's like 3 of them pretty much already being sold. So M&C is in here. Man, I'm missing people. What's up, Al? Good to see you this morning. Make sure I didn't miss anything here. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of blown away that was burnt right there. And in all the videos I've been watching, trying to research this problem and everything, is there's a plug that goes into a what do they call it, a resistor right there on that engine fan, and usually that's where it's burnt. And then I actually ended up seeing another video where the guy had it was burnt in that fuse relay. So he said, Crazy Ed said, hello, my new neighbor. Yeah. About 170 miles apart, neighbor. I think, yeah, it's something like 170 miles over there to that property. I don't know if I could move out there. I wouldn't mind moving out there, but I don't know. It is way out in the middle of nowhere. M&C said, so it was the fan motor. Not necessarily. They say that the fan motor drawing too many amps is what causes that, which is bull. Is probably just another way for them to sell those fan motors left and right, is what I figure. But at a connection point, when it heats up only at that connection point, that just means it was a poor connection and it was obviously vibrating or something. And so it started arcing, and when it starts arcing, it creates a bunch of heat, which burns the wire back right there, and just a little bit of a short length of wire getting burnt. But if the fan was drawing too many amps, I mean, it may be drawing a little too much, but if the fan's drawing way too many amps, it's going to melt that whole wire. All right, let me catch up here. Well, Crazy Ed's said not too bad. All right, I'm lost again. That's why I have a hard time doing these lives, because I get lost in the comments here, like what we're talking about. M&C said, put it on its own switch. That has been a consideration of mine, but I may want to sell this. And part of the reason I traded the minivan for the Mustang is because I've actually been trying to sell the minivan for something like a year now. And every time I put it on Facebook Marketplace, I get nobody commenting on it, like nothing. Normally, when I sell something on Facebook Marketplace, I get all kinds of messages and stuff, but no one's been interested in it. And it's like a $7,000 or $8,000 van, and I put it on there for 5,500, which is a really, really great price for that minivan. So kind of hard to sell minivans in my area right now. The Mustang, on the other hand, that's a little easier to sell, I think. But yeah, Al, you said put it on its own switch. I've been considering like fixing it properly and then also putting a bypass switch into the same wire, just hooking it in there to where if I notice on the scan gauge that it's starting to get hot, I can just flip a switch and turn that fan on. But I want the computer to handle all that stuff, to where if I was to sell it, then, hopefully it doesn't overheat on someone. Because in these right here, that's another thing I learned was the gauge, the temperature gauge. The reason it goes to halfway and it doesn't go on over to hot is because it won't go to hot until it's actually boiling over and it's like going to shut down on you. Kind of weird. It's not even a legit gauge on these cars. Willis Dockery, good morning. Good morning. Yo, Canarum, I had the same problem with his live the other night. There was like a 10-second delay. With who's live? M&C Homestead sold our 86 square body fire truck in one day on Facebook Market. Well, and that really, I mean, it depends on your area. Where I live, it's pretty hard to sell a vehicle on Facebook Marketplace. And you also got to think, like, who's going to buy a minivan? Someone probably who has a family, maybe somebody who wants to live in it. But 9 times out of 10, it's probably going to be someone who doesn't have a bunch of money to spend, right? Then you look at who is going to buy a Mustang. Well, probably either someone who has money or, some kid, some teenager who just wants a Mustang that, doesn't really know better. I don't know. I do like it, and I may hang on to it for a little while. I drove it into town yesterday and came back. It's kind of fixed makeshift like. I mean, I drilled a hole out in that plastic piece that was burnt, and I just run the wire up through there and put a plug in on the end of it, plugged it in, put it all together. And so far it's worked, but it's not fixed the way I want it because, I mean, that could wiggle loose. It could, going down the road, it can jar around. It could start overheating. It's not a real good, stable, solid connection. Bill Canarum said, my live and me getting lost in conversation. Oh, yeah, I never get notifications for your channel. Like when you go live or anything, I never get any notifications. I don't know if I'm just like subscribed to too many people. I mean, I get notifications all day long. You'll see in a lot of my videos, like my last video I put out on working on the Mustang, you'll hear my phone go off a couple of times in that video, I think, because I'm always getting notifications. But a lot of times, I'm busy. I'll see a notification pop up for someone's going live or something, and I'll be busy. So if it's not, like Ridge Life Sunday morning chat thing or something like that, like something I tune into regularly, I may not be in there. And here lately, since I've been having to research a lot of stuff on this car, I've missed a lot of people's videos and stuff, and I've been trying to go back and catch up on some of them. He said LOL, right? Myers Kids, what up, Dave? How are you this morning? Love your videos. Thank you. Myers Kids. I'll have to check out your channel, see what that's all about. That sounds familiar. When you get to following too many people on YouTube, it's really hard to remember names and like who you've talked to before and all that stuff. Il Canarium said, we're all busy. Nobody should get hard feelings about someone not watching their videos. Yeah. I mean, I don't. I mean, I'm like, some people are going to like some of the videos I put out and some people aren't. I mean, some people are going to like, maybe the sawmilling videos. Some people are going to like working on the pickup or working on the car, those types of videos. Some people are going to like the ASMR videos I put out. So I try to mix it up because, that's what YouTube is about. It's about you. It's not about, whoever else. It's not about how they want your channel to be. And people aren't just one thing. They're not about one thing. I mean, I don't know. That's how I've always thought about YouTube is it's a, like they used to say, broadcast yourself. And it's about you. It's not about whatever someone else thinks your channel should be about. And the whole thing, like people saying that your channel should be about one thing, because, if it's not, then it throws it out of the algorithm. I think, I don't think we can really fight back against that. But if we could, that'd be nice because I don't like watching channels that are just one thing. Because really, I think what you're watching is you're getting into watching like that person, their life and like what they're doing or whatever. It's not just, I would hate to have a channel that's nothing but working on a Mustang because then I'm only going to have subscribers who are interested in Mustangs. And I'll just be upfront honest with you guys. I'm not a Ford guy. I don't really, really, really like Mustang. I do like it, but I'm more of a Chevy guy. Got the old 69 Chevy out here, and I've always been a Chevy guy. I'd rather have a Camaro. If I could trade this thing for an old Camaro, I'd do it any day of the week. Jack Higgins, good morning. What's the good word? I don't know. You tell me. Poor Boy's Little Homestead. Good morning, everyone. Myers Kids, I don't have a channel, but we met at the meetup. Okay, that's probably why it sounds familiar. Like I usually will, remember like a person's face if I meet them or whatever, but like the names and stuff like that is a little harder for me to remember. Myers Kids said, I love your woodwork, but I like all of them. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I've got followers who follow that, they started following me back when I was doing the CNC carving videos. Then I've got like woodworking videos, and those people, I grew my channel a little bit from that. Then I started doing, I also had the foundry, and I've probably lost most of those subscribers because that foundry build was a long time ago. It was years ago, and I still haven't finished it. I'm surprised I don't get all the hate mail and everything like what Jason Crocker gets because he's not finished the tiny house yet over like the last couple of years or whatever. But and I see why he like kind of drags that out, and it's because it's a business. If you build it in one day, I mean, he could have built it in a week and been finished with it, but if you do that, you're not capturing as much and you're not telling a story. And that's kind of the thing you got to remember. Probably the one thing, if I could give you guys advice, if you have a YouTube channel and you're trying to grow it, the one bit of advice I could tell you that would probably help you out the most is get good at telling a story with your videography. That's probably the one piece of advice I could give you. Just be good at telling the story with your videography. Not so much like literally, speaking, telling the story, but tell the story with your videography. Let's see, Hill Canarium, I agree with you. That's why I went with my last name for channel and not in a niche channel. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like Hood's Custom Shop, I've had like 2 different channel names before this on this channel. And like Hood's Custom Shop, when I think about it, I'm like, that to me, it sounds more like uh, Gas Monkey Garage or something. Like you would almost kind of think when you hear that it's going to be like custom cars or something like that. And I said, well, that would work for me, but it also is the custom woodworking. The name of my business here is Hood's Custom Woodworking. That's the legal name of it. And I've been trying to switch it over to Hood's Custom Shop because that's what I was able to use on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. You know how they're always like, oh, that name's already used. Well, Hood's Custom Woodworking was already taken. I think it was on Instagram. And so I had to switch it up a little bit. Jason said, I started following from the sawmill. Cool. Yeah, I mean, and building the foundry, the whole point behind that was I was actually going to build my own sawmill. I was going to use the foundry to actually cast the band wheels for the sawmill. And I don't know if you guys watch Matt Cremona. Matt Cremona built his own sawmill. He didn't pour the band wheels for his sawmill, but he did build his own sawmill. And then April Wilkerson, she also built one. And those guys went down there to Texas and they helped her build that. And that was what I originally wanted. I wanted a sawmill that could mill really wide slabs because I knew that would be the niche that I needed to be in. There's no way I'm going to compete with some, big sawmill that has millions of dollars in equipment. I can't produce lumber and compete with them. And that's not what I'm trying to do. I wanted a sawmill primarily to be able to provide myself with the wood at a much cheaper price to be able to do the stuff that I do. Let's see. Poor Boy's Little Homesteads. I agree with you on mixing up videos. I do all types of videos and different people like different things. Yep, that's right. I mean, and the other thing is like, you guys will sit there and watch, like, you might watch me do woodworking. You might watch me working on the Mustang or whatever. And if I am doing those videos back to back to back, you guys are going to probably get burnt out on. I mean, I know I do. I get burnt out on doing woodworking. A lot of times, like I'll make something and then people are like, hey, I want one of those. And they have no idea how much it would cost. I mean, if it took me all day to make something like those cups, I'm actually making 2 of them for Greenhorn 1 Acre, and he's paying a pretty penny for those, and they're gonna have some logos on there. I guess I shouldn't let too much out of the bag, but that's what's coming down the pipeline. I actually have a 3-inch Forstner bit coming in today and a carving burr that should be coming in today from Amazon. So that's one thing I'm waiting on. And then I'm going to start doing those. So there'll be some more cup videos coming out, making some cups out of wood. And he is paying me a fair amount of money for those 2 cups, which is really awesome. That guy is awesome. So guys, if you would, go check out the Greenhorn 1 Acre, or not the Greenhorn 1 Acre. There's actually 2 different channels. The Greenhorn is one channel, and then you got Greenhorn 1 Acre. That's Eric. And so yeah, go check out his channel. He's an awesome guy. Let's see, get caught up in the chat here. Got 11 watching. We've only got 5 thumbs up. We need more. Need 6 more. Did I miss something? The chat's jumping here. Crazy Ed said, I love those two channels. Yeah. Yeah. I love them. Okay. Al said, he said, Ed, you make it out of Cali yet? Hey, don't let them commies keep you over there. He said, no, I have not, Al. No loads. Oh, wait. No, M&C said no loads. He said, not yet. Man, you only do military equipment? I mean, strictly just military equipment? You'd think if you get out west or if you get up in the northwest, like Oregon or something, you would probably have to get some like heavy equipment or something to haul back out of there. Corboy's little homestead. Yes, people don't think about the time you have invested and what it's worth. Yeah. Yep, definitely. Like some people are like, why don't you go ahead and build the bench that you were making? I'm like, yeah, maybe one day. um, so I mean, I got a little burnout on the bench that I built and took to the meetup. And one of the reasons I auctioned that off is because I knew it would be hard to sell. Those high ticket, high dollar, high ticket items like that are hard to sell in my area. I live in a very poor area. I'm in between Joplin and Bella Vista, and in this area right here, I mean, I can sell some stuff down in Bella Vista, very little in Joplin. It's just kind of a poor region. People don't like in this area, they don't value handmade wood products near as much, I don't think. I've posted stuff before and it just doesn't sell. So I don't know. It's a tough market, and there's quite a few people in this area that build stuff like that. M&C says that's why I never went there. Yeah, you've never been to California, Al? Been a truck driver how many years and you never went to California? Man, I think that was my second load I ever did. My first load, I went to Little Rock and I picked up toilet paper from what's the name of that? Kimberly Clark, and I hauled that up into Montana. And then from Montana, I got a load out to, I think it was Sacramento, something like that. Yep. So my second load I ever hauled in a semi truck, other than sailboat fuel, was out to California. Crazy Ed said, yes, David. So strictly military equipment. M&C costs too much to travel Oregon. I don't know. Not when you're driving a truck. It shouldn't cost you anything. I mean, especially if you're owner operator. Place I always tried to stay out of was Denver. There's no good freight coming out of Denver ever. Crazy Ed said, yes, that's all we haul is military equipment. M&C said fuel tax permits. If you go in there a bunch, I mean, it pays for itself. One thing I learned was you take that into account whenever going into a certain area. It costs you more to be licensed or whatever to go in there. You charge 10 times more to haul it. I seen, in my years of owner operator, I seen so many people complaining about they can't get good paying freight coming out of Denver. And I'm like, well, you're thinking about it wrong. Like if you know that you're either not going to get a load out of Denver or it's going to be super cheap, which I mean, everybody knows everything coming out of Denver is always cheap. So make sure you get paid double for the load going in. 11 people watching, man, that is amazing. 11 people in here. So yeah, I'm hoping, really hoping I figured out what's wrong with the car. I only took it into town briefly, just it's like 3 miles up to the gas station up here. Went up there to get some smokes and come back, and it only got up to, I think it's like 192 degrees. So I would say it's not overheating anymore. At least the fan's coming on. But when I get some money coming in, probably the first upgrades I'm going to do on this Mustang is I want to get a little bit bigger radiator put in it, and I also want to get a better fan put on it. MNC said, I hauled corrugated steel rolls in and out of Denver. Most of the stuff I've done in and out of Denver has been food. Back when I drove for Schneider, I was pulling, of course, a dry van with them. And then I drove for D&D Sexton out of Carthage, which I pulled a reefer unit then, hauling, refrigerated goods. And then let's see, I drove for Certified Express out of Neo Show, and of course then I was pulling a reefer unit for a while, and then I started doing tanker for them. Poor boy said, enjoyed the coffee, has to go. Awesome. Hey, we'll see you later. Thanks for hopping in here. We'll be on for a bit. M&C. Okay, I already read that one. Yeah, you had a dedicated route. Okay. Yeah, that's a good thing. If you can find you a dedicated route, that's pretty nice, because then you kind of have a schedule. So that's one thing I always didn't have. I didn't have like a set, load really. I did a few here and there, but they didn't last, too awful long. When I first got into truck driving, when I was doing the training, I was in there for like a month. Me and my brother, we went in to go team drive for Schneider. We went to Green Bay, Wisconsin. I think it was 2 weeks up there for the like in classroom stuff. And it snowed every day we were there. I got the skid pad training and everything, doing 360s in a semi truck out there in the snow and ice. So that was a lot of fun. Let's see. And then when I got out of that, we had our over the road trainer, which, we weren't like really over the road. We went to Indianapolis, and my Dodge pickup here, the bedsides for those is actually what I was hauling. We would pick up a load. We picked up in Indianapolis, or well, let me think about this again. No, we picked up in Michigan, Howell, Michigan. We picked up the pickup bedsides up there, and we took them to Indianapolis, which is where we relayed them. And then another team would pick up those pickup bedsides, and they would take those from Indianapolis over by St. Louis, where they were put together. So, and it was a dedicated run, and that was pretty fun. We done that for a couple of weeks, I think it was. That's probably the closest thing I ever done to being like a dedicated run. I say that, and then I'm thinking, I'm probably lying, because I probably done other stuff that I'm just forgetting. 21 years over the road, I've probably done a few dedicated runs. Al said, gotta go, y'all. Feed the animals, take care. All right, Al, take care. It's 7:44, so we got about 15 minutes left here, because about 8 o'clock I want to start calling Ford and all these other places, so I'm not going to stay on too long today. I'm kind of hoping that it's a recall. Really hoping it'd be a recall, because then, you know, it won't cost me nothing other than, you know, to take the car up there and have them fix it. So that's who I'm going to call first, is Ford. I should be able to look it up. I think my brother sent me a link and I'd never clicked on it. Just been too busy. Myers kids, love the live. We'll see you on the next one. All right, man. We'll see you. Have a great day. Got the sun coming up over the house here. So is the video better this time? Is it coming in more clear than last time? I mean, I've got looks like 3 bars right now. I did have 4 earlier. It says it's LTE. So I don't know. It looks good on my end. Myers kids, say you too, Dave. So what are you guys up to? Like, what do you got going on today for y'all? This isn't just about me. This is me connecting with you guys. So I want to know what y'all are up to. Like, what do you got going on in your life right now? That kind of stuff. Willis Dockery said, looks good. I got to pour me a little bit more coffee here. We got a dump truck coming. Hopefully it's not too loud. No, that's a logging truck. That's the guy my mom bought her Blazer from. I need to get a hold of him and see how much it costs to get a good load of logs. Might have to buy a load of logs from him so I can have the logs that I need to start building a timber frame cabin. I've just about overfilled my cup here. Willis Dockery said, you can cut my grass. No thanks. I don't even like cutting my own grass. Il Canarum said, it rained on me this weekend while I was in Nebraska. It rained on me when I drove through Missouri on the way back to Illinois, and it's still raining. So inside stuff. Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, it rained the other day. Well, yesterday morning, I think it was. Heard a little bit of thunder, and when I come out, the grass was wet, but then it started clearing up. So not a whole lot of rain around here. I've been having to water the garden. Thanks for the reminder to pour some more coffee. Yeah, I barely got the coffee done in time, and then I was coming out here getting everything set up, because I don't want to always do the live streams from the back porch or the same spot or whatever. And I figured over on this side of the yard, I'm kind of by the sawmill. If the car wasn't right here, well, I think you can see it where right there's the sawmill. So I said, well, I want to try it over here. I brought my phone over here. I had pretty good service in this spot. So I don't know. I may have to actually build some kind of lean-to or something over here so I can have something to be under if it starts raining. I don't want to do live streams from inside the house because, I don't know, we kind of have an agreement. We don't like to film or anything in the house other than like downstairs in the wood shop because, you know, well, for one, I have a family, and so I have to kind of respect their privacy and everything. Oh, we got 6 people in here. Only a few of you guys are talking. Give me something to talk about. Yep, 7:49. So we got about 10 minutes left. So if you guys got any questions for me, make sure you throw them in there. I'm really hoping that just fixing that fuse block, whatever you want to call that thing, in the car. I'm hoping that fixes the problem. I'm going to have to get a one of those meters that clips onto the wire so I can see how many amps the fan is pulling. And then I've got to do some research and find out how many amps it's supposed to be pulling. But from what I understand, a brand new fan is going to pull somewhere between 25 to 30 amps. And that's not even on startup. On startup, it pulls more. Jack Higgins said, I'm working on a 77 Chevy C10 four-wheel drive. Bought it as a basket case. It jumped on me. 4-speed with the 205 transfer case. What size motor you got in that thing? C10 four-wheel drive. 4-speed. A 205 transfer case. I'm not sure on the transfer case what a 205 is, but I'm guessing either a 4-speed Muncie or a 4-speed top loader. Deborah Brine said, your wood project? Question mark. Jack Higgins said, nice. Or no, Ilkanarum said nice to Jack Higgins. Okay. It's still early. Deborah Bryan, what wood project are you talking about? Because I got about 50 of them in the works. They don't move along very fast because there's stuff like, having to dry the wood, stuff like that. .350 4-bolt. 205 is a heavy duty gear drive. Nice. So that's not the chain driven one. 350 4-bolt. I've got a 400 small block, but it's only a 2-bolt. It's still pretty nice. I just don't make it put out too many horsepowers. Now they say this Mustang is 300 horses stock. It's not exactly stock. The motor was built for a race car, and this car they were actually converting it to turn it into a race car, and then someone else bought it and they started switching it back. It's got the hood scoop was taken off of it. It had the race pins or whatever in the hood. They took that off, repainted the hood, and they done a horrible job. I mean, the paint's all right, but where they did the body filler on the holes, like the bolt holes where the hood scoop was, they totally messed that up. So it kind of needs a new paint job, but I'm not going to do that until I get like a hood scoop for it. And possibly a new front clip, because the front bumper has been banged up a little bit, so it kind of needs to be replaced. Bill Canarum said, I believe the 205 is a gear-to-gear instead of a chain drive. Yeah. Well, that sounds like it'd be something nice for like a Jeep. Be something really reliable. You said a S10, didn't you? C10. Okay, so it's a half-ton 4x4, 77. So yeah, square body. I had a 76. It had the 250 or 251, whatever they call that, the straight 6 with a 3-speed on the column. That was just one of the many vehicles I've had in my past. I've had a lot of vehicles. I've worked on a lot of stuff. Deborah Bryan, I have no idea which wood project you're talking about, but she said your wood project? Question mark. I mean, what I'll be working on here pretty soon for a wood project is actually making some more wooden coffee cups. I've got 2 of them basically sold already, and then my mom wants one also. So I got 3 of them I need to make. So what I did was I bought a 3-inch Forstner bit, and it hasn't got here yet. It's supposed to be here today. So hopefully I'll get started on that pretty soon. Deborah Bryan said, any woodworking project? I mean, I've got several. I've got the wood cups. I've got the red cedar bench. That's kind of, it's going to be sort of like the one, the black walnut one I made for the meetup. I've got that project. Then I've got the hackberry cookie that's sitting on my router sled right now. That one, I don't know if it's going to turn out. I flattened one surface. I covered it with a tarp, let it sit out there. I think probably been a month or 2 now, and it's been drying, and it cracked on me pretty bad. So I don't know. Walter Johnson said, he said, I found my problem, the water pump on my 06 Mustang. Yeah, see, I haven't even pulled the water pump off of this one because it's got a brand new one on it. They just had the water pump put on. I guess that's the first thing they tried, was they replaced the water pump. And so my thinking was they didn't know exactly what they were doing with this car. They couldn't get the burp plug out of the engine, so they were filling the coolant through the radiator hose. And I thought, well, maybe it's airlocked. So I tried that. That wasn't it. The engine fan, we could hear it running. We knew it was running. We could see it running. We didn't realize that, it only running on low was an issue. We didn't realize that it was a 2-speed fan. And I'm not like a really, up to date, mechanic or anything. I'm pretty good at figuring things out. And they brought it to me to work on because the lady who had this car is really good friends with my wife, and she's just had so much money into it. And the amount of time that I put into it, trying to figure out what's going on with it, if I was to charge them like what a mechanic shop would charge, she would probably be, I don't know, another $500 into it. And, I wasn't going to charge her that. I was just going to charge her like $50. Well, then she wanted me to sell the car for her. Basically, she did not want the car, even though I got it running to where it would take it a while to overheat. She's like, well, can you get it to where it just won't overheat to where I can sell it, and then you sell it for me? And I was like, I don't have the time to deal with people coming out at all hours of the day or whatever, or meeting up with people to let them test drive a car. I said, honestly, I would like to have it. And her son was saying that it had a blown head gasket. He's the one who actually put this motor in with their high school class. It's at a kind of like a VOTEC type thing. It's through a local college here. And so anyways, he had called his teacher and talking to him over the phone. He's like, yeah, it's a blown head gasket. And I'm like, no, it's not. I've been in this game way too long. I know it's not a blown head gasket. So I wasn't too scared to get it. I was really dreading that if it was a blown head gasket or something like that, or a cracked cylinder, that it was going to be super expensive. There's actually another engine block that comes with this car. So anyways, I said, well, I have a minivan that I don't want. I paid it off in hopes to just sell it and get my money back out of it. And I said, it's really reliable. It's a Toyota. The only thing that doesn't work on it is the air conditioning. And I already replaced the AC compressor on it a couple of years ago. And then it was still having an issue. And basically, we're pretty sure what the problem is there is one of the expansion valves is plugged up in it. And the reason we think that is because one side of the vehicle was blowing warm air and the other side was blowing cold air, and then the clutch would start locking up on it. So I'm pretty sure what was going on there was one of the expansion valves was plugged up and it was overpressuring the pump, uh, making it not want to turn. And then what it did on the pump that was on there before was it burnt the clutch up. So let's catch up on the chat here. Deborah Bryan said, love the coffee cups. Willis Dockery said, I had a 66 Chevy with a 411 rear end. It would pull a big load up Stone Mountain. Yeah, my 69 Chevy, I want to say it was 410 or 411 rears. Had a 400 small block in it and a 4-speed with granny, and that thing, it was a stump puller. Canarum said, David, have a good day. I'm going to go do something even if it's wrong. All right, man. Have a good one. Deborah Bryan, I will let my hubby look at this video later. He is a retired mechanic. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of a retired mechanic too. That's what I used to do for a living. I used to drive a tow truck and work on cars for a living many years ago. But anyways, yeah, these new Mustangs or newer vehicles and stuff, they're a little harder to diagnose because of the electronics on them. The electronics with the, hooking a computer up to it and it throws a code. It says, oh, you got this problem. A lot of times it can be a sensor. So, I mean, it kind of points you in a direction to go on figuring out something. But when there's problems in the wiring and stuff like that, it's pretty hard to figure out what's going on without, I mean, you just have to start going through stuff. And I just had like in my video, I said I had a wild whisker and I decided to take that apart. And that's where the problem was. Kind of crazy. Let's see. Jack Higgins, what's up, man? Jack Higgins said it's a Silverado, so lots of options. Body is rough, but after all, it is a Chevrolet. It's nice that all the parts are available for square bodies. Yeah. I wish I hadn't got rid of my old 76. I could have put the 400 small block in it. It would have been pretty nice. I know some of you guys said I should fix up the old 69 Chevy out here, and I can't just fix it up. It's going to take a lot of money, and I want to start off with pulling the cab and the bed off and sandblast the frame, get it powder coated. Then I want to go through and replace all the rubber bushings and everything on it, all the steering components. I want to put all new stuff on there, then paint the cab and the bed, put that back on. Then get into putting a motor and transmission in. I don't want to just slap a motor and transmission in it and get it running to drive it, because I want it fully redone. So Heather Hopper said, good morning, David. Jack Higgins telling Il Canarum have a good day. Got 9 people watching. Good morning, Heather. Oh, I got the sun right there. I don't know if I can fix that. Probably not. It's just gonna wash out the picture a little bit for a bit. It's 8:03, and I said I wasn't going to be on here for much longer, but looks like we had a few people hop in, a few people hop out. You guys, if you got any questions, just throw them in there. I'll be on here for a few more minutes, I guess. I don't want to be calling the Ford dealership right at 8 o'clock, because if I do, they may not answer, for one, but I don't want to be like the very first person calling them. Yeah, hopefully I can get a switch put on that thing. I want to do it right though, and to where it's, I had an issue with my old 69 Chevy. I had an amp in the bed and I had a camper shell on it, and where I had the wires run through, I had everything protected, and one day the bed had wore through that and it grounded out and started a fire in my pickup, and that was pretty crazy. So I really, really want to make sure I get it done right. Had 7 people. Somebody just hopped out of there. Yeah, I can't wait to get that those parts in today so I can start on those coffee cups. Sousa Home said, Dave, how you like your sawmill? I like it a lot. There's a lot of people out there buying these sawmills nowadays that, I don't know how they've made it in this world. And they have nothing but issues with their sawmill. And I don't know. I see the stuff posted on Woodland Mills site, all the people that complain that they can't keep a blade on. And, I honestly, I think it's more of the person running the mill that doesn't have maybe the mechanical aptitude needed to figure out how to track a saw blade on the mill. And so they're just having issues. And now you get a lot of people are like bad mouthing Woodland Mills, saying, oh, they're junk and they're just a cheap Chinese mill, all this and that. I think I've proven them otherwise with my mill. I did build the trailer part for it. But I mean, as far as the mill head and everything, they're great. Crazy Head said it's 6:05 here. Yeah, you're way over there in California. It is 8:06 here. So everyone's just getting up and around over there in California. What part of California are you in there, Ed? Willis Dockery says 9:06 here in Georgia. Georgia's got a jump on me here by an hour. 9:06 in Maryland. Good old Maryland. I've been through there a time or three. I think there's that one little short little spot of Maryland where it takes you about 2 minutes to get through Maryland. I've been through there probably 100,000 times. Maybe not that many, but Crazy Ed said, Willis, I'm in California right now. We got people from Georgia, Maryland. We got Crazy Ed that's not from California, but he's in California. Well, I'm in Missouri, extreme southwest Missouri. I'm about 20, 30 minutes south of Joplin. I'm about, I don't know, 2 miles, maybe 3 miles off the interstate, the old I-49. So if you're ever running through on I-49 and you want to come by here, you can look up Hood's Custom Shop. I'll probably be here. Come on by. Just don't be weird. I know there's some weird people out there. Not saying you all are weird, but Crazy Ed, you're welcome to stop by anytime if you're running through here. I'm pretty sure I got enough room here in the yard that if you need to bring the semi truck in here, you can get turned around. I've had a 53-foot CFI trailer in here plenty of times. I just might have to move some stuff if I got stuff parked right here in the yard. Where my shipping container is, I've actually had my yellow Peterbilt with a CFI, 53-foot trailer behind me parked in the driveway, which took up the whole driveway all the way out to the road. If it's been raining, though, you might want to call me, Ed, if you're going to pull in here, because you probably don't want to bring your truck over here and back into the yard if it's really been raining a bunch. Crazy Ed said, I'm in Barstow. Awesome. I picked up some grapes out there before, but I don't think you can haul grapes with that big old low boy. Deborah Bryan is in Texas. Jack Higgins, do you ever go down the eastern shore across the bridge tunnel with your big rig? I guess you're talking to Crazy Ed, because I don't have a big rig anymore. Let's see, eastern shore across the bridge tunnel. What? Where is that? I'm trying to think of there's a tunnel over there, North Shore. North Shore where? You talking about the eastern seaboard? I know there's a big tunnel you actually kind of drive underneath the ocean over there. Crazy Ed said, "No, David, I am originally from California." Oh man, you're originally from California? That's all right. My mom lived out there for a little while. I'm not sure what part of California she lived in. I think it was Northern California. Um, she was originally from Illinois though. Um, Norfolk. That's what I was thinking about. Yeah, Norfolk over there by the base. Yeah, I've been through that tunnel many, many times. Uh, I guess another kind of a dedicated route I used to do was for CFI. I actually used to haul furniture. Let's see, who was that for? I think it was Lazy Boy Furniture. I hauled couches. It was an extremely light load. I would pick up in Philadelphia and haul down to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, back and forth with that stuff. I did that, and that is a load at CFI. Well, I mean, this is years ago. I don't know if they still do it anymore, but that was a load that once you got on that load, you would do it for months and months on end because you got an incentive for getting a really good fuel mileage. If you didn't get like at least 7.5 miles per gallon in that semi truck, they would actually write you up, which was one reason I had to quit working for them, driving their truck. But whenever you got a light load like that, that was a really good paying load. Or if you hauled tires, get those tire loads that had a multi-stop on it, you made something like $50 a stop. And if you got, I don't know, like 3 or 4 stops in a day that were really close together, you didn't put in a whole bunch of miles. And at some of those places, they would actually unload the tires for you. So you got basically another $50 just for hanging out in the truck for each one of those stops. So that was another load that you would try to get if you was driving for them. But that, hauling fuel up that I-95, or I mean, getting good fuel mileage, going up I-95 back and forth, you got really good fuel mileage, plus hauling really light load like couches. And when I got down in Fort Lauderdale, those guys would come in there, like 5 guys. Just it was a constant stream of guys in and out of there with a little 2-wheel dolly pulling couches out. It took them like 20 minutes to unload the trailer. So I mean, it was a great deal. Oh, let's see here. Jack Higgins said Norfolk. Okay, yeah. To Cape Charles, Virginia. Yeah, I mean, I've been all over there. I don't particularly like running a semi truck on the East Coast because once you get over that way, it's like you're pretty much in city traffic the whole way. And I liked running out from the Mississippi River west. That's where I like running because it's a little less stress. Um, I I've been in the middle of New York City and Chicago and all that stuff many, many times, and I don't ever want to go back to it. I mean, every year that I've been in trucking, it's gotten worse and worse. More and more vehicles on the road, more wrecks and stuff that you see. And every time I think about going back into trucking, I just get a lot of anxiety. Crazy Ed said we run 58-foot trailers. I can't remember how long my trailers were. We had some long ones. I know one trailer that I hauled the really big excavator. I can't remember what number of cat it was, but we had a really big excavator. It was like the size of a house. We had a Jeep, a Stinger. Um, yeah, I think the Jeep was like a 3-axle. Then the trailer was a 4-axle, and then we had a Stinger on the back of that was 2-axle. It was really long. On the permit, I think we were 100 and something feet long. Had to have most of the time you had to have a pilot car. 11 people in here, man. It seems like the longer I stay on here, the more people come in. Well, we're at 8:15. It's not going to kill me to stay on here for a little bit longer, guys. I'm actually wanting to be lazy today. Nothing like some black coffee and no sugar in it. Bitter. Had to park my truck over here. Otherwise, the neighbor would be watching me going, what is that guy doing? He's out there drinking coffee out beside his house, staring at his phone on the tripod. Got 9 people in here now. Had some people jump out. They're like, oh man, this guy. Well, whatever you guys want to talk about. Jack Higgins said, I grew up 15 miles from New York City, had an auto body shop there, was glad to get out and move to Maryland. Do not miss the traffic one bit. Yeah. I tell you what, when I was going in and out of New York, because when I drove for Schneider, you had to take a load every now and then. They said that they weren't forced dispatch, but when you drove their truck, they would force you to take loads into New York City. And so the dispatcher would be like, you have to take at least one every couple of months or whatever. And we'd get into New York City, we'd get in that gridlock traffic. You would have a green light to go through a light. You'd start to go, and then somebody would run a red light right in front of you, and they would flip you off as they were going by in front of you. And you're like, what's going on here? I had a green light and you just decided to go in front of me and flip me off. I mean, it's like you're not doing something right if you're not getting flipped off. I mean, that to me, it seemed like in New York City, that was how they waved at you, was with one finger. And I just got to the point where I said, you know what, New York City, if you want it, go get it yourself. I was done with hauling into New York City. And I started to get that way with Chicago. Chicago area started getting worse and worse and worse. And the last time I went into Chicago, I was driving. I thought that was someone pulling my driveway here. I was driving for CEI, and I was hauling sugar. And the place I had to go into, oh man, I was in the hood. Had kids out there in front of their house walking around with a piece tucked in their shorts as I'm driving by, and I'm like, Jersey drivers in New York City. That's another place, Jersey. I had a heck of a time there. They have a postal place there that's underground, and apparently I was driving all around above it and I couldn't find it. It was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I had a hot load that was supposed to have been there like a week before, and I couldn't find it. I was super tired. I'd busted my butt to get there, and it was like some Kmart parking lot that I kept turning around in. And I just knew, if I kept after it, I was going to tear something up. I was going to curb a tire or something because I was super tired. And I called dispatch and I told them that I was super tired. And, back in the day, those CFI dispatchers, especially night dispatchers, they didn't care what the laws were. They didn't care if you were tired. They pushed you. And they kept calling my truck. There was actually a phone on the dash in the truck, and they would call it, and you couldn't turn the ringer off. It would ring over the speakers in the cab. It was super, super loud. And that's what made me finally quit working for them, was because they kept calling me. And I told them, I said, look, I'm going to lay down. I'm going to take about 15-minute nap, maybe 30 minutes or whatever. I said, I've got to I have to. And they kept calling. So I actually threw the phone out the window and rolled the window up, but it did no good because it kept ringing over the speakers. Crazy Ed said, when are you going to Mel and Gary's place? I don't know. Basically, I think the plan is this next month coming up, or is that this month? I think we're already started the new month. So probably sometime this month. Yeah, I don't know. That's the trouble, is when I first planned on doing that thing, I was going to do that months ago when I had the money to do it. And now I have to come up with the money to go out there. So the other thing is I actually have a check engine light on my pickup. I don't know what's going on with that just yet. So I don't know. It's one of them things that's kind of difficult to plan with what they've got going on and all that. I really don't know. It's up to them. If they want to send me some money for gas to get me down there, I could probably go today. But it's all planning. I've been trying to plan it for several months now, and just the 4th of July, I thought I was going to be taking it out there then. That's not how it worked out. They didn't want me to bring it out then. They said it's not a work party. It was just a get together thing. So I said, okay. So I didn't want to turn them down on coming out there at that time either. So hopefully it'll be here pretty soon. Maybe I'll get some money coming in or something. And yeah, I have the truck tagged now. I've made progress. Got it tagged again. So yeah, I hadn't even realized that my tags were just about up. So we got that done. Got the truck and the car here insured. That was part of the deal when I traded the minivan for the Mustang. They gave me some money to pay for the tags on the pickup and the insurance and all that stuff. And some of that money was actually supposed to be to, switch over the tags and everything on the car, which I haven't been able to do just yet. I think it's like $25 or something to switch it over though. So not a big deal. I just got to start selling some lumber. Be nice if I could do that here pretty soon. People around here just aren't buying wood anymore. And that's the weird thing. Like, so many people, like on Facebook, they wanted to buy lumber from me. They'd come by, they'd see my prices, which was like half the price of what you would pay at Lowe's. And they would complain about the price. And I'm like, are you kidding me? If you don't like that, go to Lowe's and get it for double that. And they'd go to Lowe's and buy it for double. Kind of weird. I don't know why you would go pay double at Lowe's. I mean, and I'm not trying to make like 2x6s, 2x4s, stuff like that here. I mainly try to make stuff for woodworking projects. Got 9 people still in here. You guys tell me how many thumbs up I got. I have no idea. StreamYard doesn't let me see that. I got to get with Anthony and see when they're going to be ready. I mean, they've got a lot going on right now with like trying to plan for bringing in the shed to houses. So yeah, I mean, we don't want the mill out there when they're bringing all that stuff in. That just getting too much stuff in that area. You don't want that. 17 thumbs up. Thank you, Willis. Awesome. And Jack Higgins said 17. Thank you. And that's awesome. 17 thumbs up already. I would have never thought that this would even be a thing. Just like I never would have imagined that I would ever own a Mustang. Never would have thought that. This thing just kind of, it fell in my lap. I've been trying to get rid of that minivan for a very long time because it's not what I want to drive around. I've had people say, "What, are you worried about what people think, like about what you drive?" And I'm like, actually, no, I don't care what people think. That's why I drive an old beat up 2000 Dodge pickup. It's paid for. I paid $1,000 for it back when I got it in 08. I bought it from one of my old bosses when I worked at a fabrication shop. I worked for him for like 8 years, I think. And he sold me that truck. He had put a new transmission in it, all new brake stuff on it, air shocks, new shocks on the front end. I think I already said new transmission. Yeah, I mean, he had kind of gone through it and refurbished everything and then sold it to me for $1,000. I mean, it's a heck of a deal. Crazy Ed said, "I'm hoping one day I'll get to go out there and see the property." Yeah, I'm sure they'll probably have you come out sometime. You just need to get with them and see if you can kind of plan that out. I know they're pretty busy right now with all the stuff they're doing, so I don't know. And the other thing is like if you ever do get to go out there, you'll see, I mean, what you see on camera, it doesn't really do it justice. I mean, and for everyone who does YouTube, you kind of understand that. Like you shoot the video and you know what it looks like in person, and then you watch the video and you're like, you know, it doesn't look the same. Like my hill back here in the backyard is super, super steep. Like at one point it gets so steep that you actually just slide down. It's really hard to climb back up. And I show that on camera and it doesn't look anywhere near as steep as what it is. Oh, let's see. Crazy Ed. So, well, when I get ready to go out to my property, I will help you get out there and feed you. Just come out and hang out for a weekend. Out there to your new property? Sweet. I love going out there. It's a lot of fun going out there. As long as it's not in the wintertime. When I went out there to Adams, it was super, super cold. You know, not during the day, it wasn't too bad, but at nighttime, it got really cold. And I don't know. I don't have the minivan anymore, so I won't be able to stay in that, which, I mean, you're wanting me to bring the mill out, so I'll be in the pickup. I think I'm going to have to get me a new truck. Let's see, Betty England. That's my mom. She said, "Watching you on the TV with my coffee, looking mighty good on TV." Awesome. Well, I think I have a lot better like signal over here on this side of the house for some reason. Weird. Crazy Ed. I need 4 slab. What kind of wood do you got? Oh man. Have you seen the wood I got around here in my videos? I got lots of slabs out here. I've got a lot of white oak, red oak. Let's see, I've got some silver maple slabs. I've got some hackberry, some black walnut. I got a couple of hedge. There is kind of a yellow wood, and one of them is sitting outside right now, turning brown. But it would probably be used as like a mantle over a fireplace. It's not real wide. The widest slabs I can cut, I think, are like 22 inches, 20 to 22 inches, something like that. It's really hard to get 22-inch wide on there. Joy Bless Live said, hey, David. What's up, guys? Good to see y'all in here. We're at almost an hour and a half into this live now. I might as well just make a habit of going 2 hours on these because it seems like the longer I stay on here, the more people I get to pop in. Not everyone's going to probably be able to pop in right at 7 or something. Yeah, Joy Bless Life said her husband's going to get a Mustang one of these days. Might just be this one. I don't know. This thing's got a ton of money into it. I've heard in some videos people saying you can get into these cars like this for somewhere around 10 grand. And I've been told that this car is actually worth about 15 because of the motor that's in it. I mean, it is a 4.6 liter, but it's been built to be a race engine. Joy Bless Life said I was sleeping earlier. Yeah, I wanted to be sleeping, but my alarm went off at 5:30, and I said, once I'm awake, I ain't going back to sleep. Go check out MT Homestead if you guys haven't already. That's who I got this cup from. I'm still looking for my Like a Bully Homestead coffee cup. It is missing in action. It's somewhere around the house. I still can't find it. Oh, man, it's feeling pretty good with that breeze coming through here today. Feeling pretty nice out here. It's a good morning just to sit out here and have coffee with you guys. Betty England said, I was sleeping too. Mom's old. You're getting old, Mom. Look at me. I'm getting old. That just makes you older, doesn't it? My mom's a tough bird. She's still out, still kicking and getting around, still able to mow her lawn herself with a push mower. I've had to push mow my yard this last weekend because I broke a blade on my lawnmower. I hit a rock over here by the big tree. I don't know if I can turn you guys around here a little bit. Oh, man. This thing. I think I can turn you. Yeah, there's a 69 Chevy there that the big tree I was mowing around over there. And I hit a rock and it broke the blade in half. Joy Bless Life said, how does your Mustang ride it? I don't know if I'm the right person to ask about that. I've never really, I mean, it rides all right. It's a little, I don't know. It's like how you would imagine a sports car being, tight to the ground. It corners really tight. It doesn't feel like it gets loose or anything like that. I mean, it's like a sports car. I was, I don't know if I should say this on here. Let's just say I got up to 90 mile an hour on the back road back here pretty stinking fast. And these are curvy roads. A lot of motorcycles, you know, like whenever they have the bikes, blues, and barbecue down in Arkansas, there's a lot of motorcycles go down my road. And it's because it's a great road for riding a motorcycle down. And it corners amazing. Really surprised me. And I looked at the speedometer. I said, I better slow down. Boy, the chat jumped here. Freezer Bound Outdoors said, good morning, all. Smash that thumbs up. Thank you. Betty England said, sure thing. LOL. Willis Dockery said, my body clock wakes me up at 5 to 5:30 a.m. Mine likes to wake me up at 4 a.m. sometimes, but I didn't get to bed until, I think it was 1:30. last night when I finally put my phone down and got off of Facebook. That's what I usually do. I'll sit there and like scroll through Facebook and Instagram and stuff and try to catch up on my comments and stuff before I go to sleep. And then sometimes it wires my brain to where I can't hardly go to sleep. And I'll just be on there for hours. Crazy Ed said, well, I'll definitely want a black oak. If you can ever get cedar, I'd like one of those. Black oak? No, you don't want black oak. Trust me. I don't know what you're wanting black oak for, but black oak is not a good wood for anything. That's firewood. If I get black oak, I do not mill it. I milled a black oak and I milled it into 1/4-inch boards, and that stuff was like cork. You can't hardly build with it or anything. That's not a very good wood for using for anything. Like post oak, I mean, pretty much you either use it for post or you don't use it at all. Use it for firewood. Crazy ass. You need to join my barbecue cook-off, David. Don't be calling me out, Ed. Don't be calling me out. M. Pedmar. What's up, Margie? Said, good morning, David. Good morning to you. Yeah, the barbecue cook-off. I could probably do something for that. You got a lot of rules, though. I can't use the crock pot. Man, I would want to do like pulled pork in the crock pot if I was to do that, and you said no crock pot, so. Because I've done the pulled pork from pork loin on the grill before, and I ruined it. I've ruined it bad. Let's see. Joy Bless Live. My friend blessed me with a VW Bug, and it feels spacious and doesn't feel low and fits in small parking spots. I like it. Hey, that's awesome. Is it like an older Bug or one of these newer ones? I've seen these newer ones for really, really cheap. I don't know what's wrong with them, but they're practically giving those things away, the newer ones. And there's a guy in this area that actually refurbishes and redoes the old ones. He's got a shop that's like all he does, and I don't even think he sells them. He does it for fun. He might sell them. I don't know. I've never seen any of them out there for sale. 2004 VW. Yeah, I guess I would classify as a newer one. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what's wrong with them. It seemed like around the same time I just started seeing a bunch of them on Facebook Marketplace, and they're going for like $1,000 or so, or giving them away. So someone gave you a Bug, huh? Just checking the battery on my mic here, make sure it's still good. Yeah, if you guys like the way the audio is on this, let's see, the Moman, that is what I'm using right here. You basically have this, and then you have this one here that plugs into your phone. Or if you unplug this right here, let's see, no, that actually has to be plugged in. You don't have to use this right here, the plug-in on this one. This is what's hooked to the lavalier. But there's actually a mic right here that if I hadn't broke it, there's a fuzzy cat, like dead cat thing you can plug in right there, and it clips on there. And it sounds pretty good. I've seen some channels out there also using these. I'm trying to think of the name. It's a pretty good size homestead channel that's out there not too far from Adam, and you'll see them like with it clipped on their hat, on the bill of their hat, and it sounds pretty good. So this right here, as far as I'm concerned, this is the next best thing to the Rode lavalier. Rode, RODE. They make something like this, but it's really expensive. And this one right here is not very expensive, and it works pretty good. We're at 8:39. Well, time has slowed down a little bit. Yeah, check out the Mustang. I got my my Autobot emblem on there. My son does not like these rims. These rims right here, he don't like them. He's like, I would change those rims. It's got some really, really wide tires on the back end. Yeah. I mean, it's just a Ford GT, 4.6 liter. It's very torquey, very, very torquey. It does have a little bit of hesitation because the intake has been modified, is what I'm told. There's something, I think he said something, it's kind of like a restrictor plate or something that they took out. And he said, I need to get a tuner, which I have a tuner, but the tuner is married to another vehicle. And I guess you can only tune so many vehicles with those before you have to like pay that company. What I hear is like $150 to get the tuner unlocked so I can actually tune this one. And they paid like $800 for that thing, and you can get them online for like $400. So they got ripped off on that thing. Crazy Ed said all the slabs that I need to get are going to be for tabletops. Yeah, you don't want black oak then. Definitely don't want black oak. I have some silver maple and I believe some hackberry. I've got hackberry in the shipping container, and then I've got silver maple stacked up out here in the yard, and I want to say they're like 4 inches thick, 3.5 or 4 inches thick. Pretty heavy. The silver maple has got some burnt stuff on it. Probably going to have to be resawn if you're wanting to like glue them up together or something, which I wouldn't probably advise doing. I would probably do something like a sliding dovetail underneath so they can move. And I'd probably do it kind of rustic. I wouldn't put any kind of epoxy finish on it because being a slab that thick, it's going to move a bunch over the years. Like once you put it in a house or something, it's going to move. So yeah, that's the problem with building stuff out of air dried lumber, that it just takes years and years. And that the silver maple has been cut for about a year, and they say about a year per inch, but it also has to be undercover. And this wood's not undercover. It's just in the open air. Let's see. I'm going to skip over that comment. All the slabs that okay, I already read that. You got 10 watching, 21 thumbs up. Woohoo! Yeah, thank you. Crazy Ed Holmes. I'll read your comment. He said, David, I wasn't going to call you out until you said it, so now I'm calling you out on your own live. Do you need to join the barbecue cook-off? No, I don't need to. Man, I don't know. I don't know if I could. Everyone's going to beat me, but I might go ahead and make a video and put it out there. What do I need to hashtag it as? And does the hashtag need to be in the header or the what do you call it? The title of the video. What is it? Something like hashtag Crazy Ed's barbecue cook-off, or Joy Bless Life said at Crazy Ed's homestead, I have suggested Donnie join your barbecue, but he has been too busy to think about it. Yeah. And that's the thing with me too. I don't know. I'll try to do it. I've got to go get some sticks or something to put in the barbecue. Crazy Ed said, Joy Bless Life, tell him he will do it, then he'll do it. Yeah, we need to see what storyteller Donnie Wheeler's got to offer in the barbecue. So that would probably be my biggest problem. I don't know what to make. I can't do chicken thighs, because then I'd be competing with the thigh master, old Matt Crocker, and I can't compete with him. So I'm not the best barbecue cook. I can make some pretty good barbecue, but I mess up a bunch. Ed said, "Where'd you get that from?" He's talking about the mic. I got it on Amazon. It's Moman, Moman, I think. Let's see. Get Moman, lavalier. They're not terribly expensive, and I've been on here for a while. I haven't even charged these in several months, and we're at 3 bars still. So they keep a charge for a good while, and then the clip right here on the back of it, that will slide perfectly into a cold mic or a hot shoe or whatever you want to call it on top of your camera. It's pretty nice. Let's see. Roberta's Artistic Adventure said, "Good morning, Dave." Good morning. What's up? Ugh. It's starting to warm up already this morning. Yesterday was really nice. I mean, it was really, really nice. It had rained yesterday morning, just a little bit. And it was, I don't know, mostly cloudy for part of the day. Joy Blessed Life said, "Morning at Roberta's Artistic Adventures." Yeah, that's awesome. We got 10 people in here again. It goes up and it goes down. We lose some and we gain some. At 8:46. I think we'll just go to 9 o'clock. Then I'm going to hop off here because I got to start calling around and seeing what all I need to get. Roberta said, "What's up? Airplanes, clouds, eagles, hot air balloons." I don't know if there'd be any hot air balloons around here today. The wind is it's going pretty good. We got probably 20-mile-an-hour winds today down on the ground. So once you get 60 foot and above, it's probably really moving. Willis Dockery said, "I cooked deer, ham for pulled pork sandwich filled with barbecue sauce and pickle juice." Sounds good. Never even thought about using pickle juice. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of venison by itself, like on the grill or anything. Usually what I do with my deer meat is most of it gets ground up. If it's not the tenderloins or the back straps, those I'll cut into like butterfly steaks and stuff. But the rest of the deer, all of it, all the time, it gets ground up, and I'll take a few roast out of it, to have some roast meat and stuff for the winter time. But most of it gets ground up. Just use it in like hamburger helper, or I'll put it in with like macaroni and cheese, some cheeseburger macaroni or something. And every now and then I'll take it to the processor and have them make it into breakfast sausage. But I mean, yeah, I like deer meat. I don't like it like by itself necessarily. It's not the greatest taste, I guess. I don't know. It's usually kind of dry if I cook it on the grill. I'm not the greatest on the grill. I don't claim to be a barbecue master. It is warming up, guys. 8:48. Whew. I think I've had enough coffee for the day. I'm having a hard time sitting here in my seat. I'm about ready to get up and start moving around. $12 people in here. Yeah, I can't wait to get this Mustang going so I can drive it a bit more. If I can drive it and not have to worry about it overheating, I might just fall in love with it. Because I've only like test drove it a few times, basically to see if it's still going to overheat. And, so I haven't got to drive it a lot. I've got to get some tires put on the back end of it because they're pretty bald. The girl that was driving it before, like to hot rod it, I guess, every time she took off, squalling the tires, and well, that wears them out pretty quick. That was another reason her mom wanted to get rid of it. That's why she didn't want to sell it. And that's why she wanted me to sell it for her. Because she knew if she was to get it back at her house, then her kids would start driving it. And she was just worried to death, worried sick. I mean, she would physically get ill worrying about her kids driving the Mustang. And I don't know what horsepower it's at right now. They've done some aftermarket stuff on it, which is why it has a hesitation in it because of the ECM needs tuned. And once it's tuned, it'll probably really get up and go. But it has a little bit of a hesitation because it has to account for all the air that it's bringing in, and it's not tuned for that. Let's see what I miss here. Okay, Crazy Ed said hashtag Crazy Ed's barbecue cook-off. Okay. Enjoy Blessed Life said, I was watching someone grind deer meat yesterday. I've done a lot of that. I've got a big old, I think it's a Cabela's. I got it from Cabela's. I don't know what the name is on it. But I got a big old, it's like a 3/4 horsepower meat grinder. It's great big. Back in 1985, I brought a young buck, strung it up, skinned it, cut up the meat, and froze it. Never done it before, but I did great. Made a vest for my son with the hide, grilled meat with butter and S&P, salt and pepper. Let's see. Enjoy Blessed Life said, good job to do all that first time. Roberta's. Let's see. Roberta said, thank you, Joy Blessed Life. JT Waterman, good morning at Hood's Custom Shop, and everyone else in the chat. Whew, man, I am full on coffee this morning. It's working on my bladder too. 8:52, so we got just a little bit longer here. We'll go till about 9 o'clock, and I'm gonna hop off here. So whatever you guys got to say or whatever, any questions? Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping I have it figured out on what was wrong with the car here. Yesterday, I drove into town with my, I don't know what, my temporary fix that I did on it, and it seemed to be okay. It didn't try to overheat. So fingers crossed that once I get it like fixed, then it'll be good. What is she up to now? Hey, what's up? She said, I thought I missed you. Morning, everyone. Yeah, I'm still on here. Willis Dockery said, Yepers, I had to pee. I'm getting there. Being a truck driver for 21 years kind of had me to where, I mean, at a point it had me to where I could hold it for a good long time. But I've been out of truck driving for a little while too. So I learned how to use a bottle going down the road though. Like some people, when I said, yeah, back in the day, I used to run about 1,200 miles a day. They're like, how in the world do you do that? Well, I just didn't stop. Kept that door shut and just drove. You can't do that kind of stuff nowadays. What is she up to now? Said, I'm on my first cup of coffee here. Well, I don't know how many I've had. I think it's been 3 or 4. Probably one too many for me. I'm getting a little antsy. Might have to get up and walk around with the camera a little bit. I don't know. I don't want to mess up the live though. We've got 4 bars of service right now, which is amazing. The crazy thing is, if I go inside my wood shop, I don't get very good service. I did my very first live from in there, and everybody said that it was cutting out pretty bad. So I don't want to do a live in there really, because I'd rather it turn out pretty good. Let's see. Joy Blessed Life. My brother and adopted brother and friends are truckers. Let's see. My 70-year-old aunt is a truck driver. She and her hubby have their own business. Can't believe she is still driving. But these days, it's hard to find honorable people to work for them. Yeah. That was my biggest problem was, when I owned my own company, I needed to get another truck. I needed to get drivers on, driving for me. But finding that million-mile driver to put in your truck, you don't want a newbie. You don't want a gear jammer in your truck. You want someone who knows a good bit about their truck, like Crazy Ed. That would be that million-mile driver that you would need to know pretty good in order to put in your truck. And finding those guys and paying them good enough to put in your truck, that's the hard part. Just, from the startup, it's hard to find people that you can trust to put in your truck, because they'll make you or break you. It's really up to that driver, how good they are. If they're actually going to get out there and run and actually make money and not tear stuff up, it's pretty tough. Willis Dockery said, cut hole in floorboard. Nah, I never done that. I did have a few Gatorade bottles, though. What is she up to now? Stay where you are. Yeah, we're starting to get the sun up there a good bit, so it's not washing the camera out completely. Yeah, what is she up to now? Said, yep, trucking has changed a lot in the last 20 years. Yeah. I started trucking in 2000. That's when I first started. I started off as a team driver. And the worst thing about trucking, what I've noticed, is when I first started driving a truck, over the road, pulling a drive van for Schneider, I didn't take home anything less than $1,200 a week back in 2000. And nowadays, you would be hard pressed at some of these companies to bring in that much. And we're talking like 20 years later. The rates, rate per mile goes up, but like what they hold out of your check and what you pay for insurance and everything, I don't know. It's tough. And then they put more regulations on you, like with e-logs and everything. I don't know how you do it with e-logs. That just drives me nuts. Because when I'm ready to get up out of that bunk and get behind the wheel and drive, I'm ready. And there's nothing worse than sitting there waiting for your 10-hour break to be up, and you're awake, you've already had breakfast, you've already drank all your coffee, you're ready to go, and you get behind the wheel, your clock says, okay, you can go now, and then you're tired. And because you sit there for about 4 or 5 hours waiting to go. I hate that. Let's see. Crazy Ed said, I agree with you. They're touching, I guess trucking has changed a lot since 07. Have you only been driving since 07, Ed? I would imagine you've been out there for way longer than that. What is she up to now? So that trucking company is outside of Postville in Iowa. I know some of their drivers. What trucking company? You're talking about Schneider? Schneider, they got operating centers all over the place. that's the first company I started off with. I mean, that's who I got my CDL through. I drove for them for a year and then I got out. I was glad I got out. That back then we were limited at 63 mile an hour. What is shipped to now said Schneider's, that is, I most likely spelt their name wrong. Oh. Ed said, nope, I started November 07. Oh, what is shipped to? Yes. Are you talking about Schneider? Okay. Yeah, I mean, they were a good company back then. I don't know what they are now. They weren't a bad company to work for. Some things were good, some things weren't so good. I mean, I definitely had the miles, and I could pick my loads whenever I was working at Schneider. Now, as far as like nowadays, if I was to try to lease onto a company like that, I probably wouldn't make it. I leased onto CFI. I didn't do too terribly bad, but I was hemorrhaging money through them. They're just, I don't know. They were set up more for newer trucks. You know, if they weren't so nitpicky, my truck would have been fine with them. They just had some people in the service bay, like your inspection bay when you come into Joplin, that, you know, they inspected your truck, and if you had just one little drip, I mean, my truck, it was a 98 Pete. It was in immaculate condition. It was probably the oldest truck leased on to that company at that time. I know CFI used to be nothing but owner operators back in the day when I was younger. But that company's just completely changed. It's completely changed. And when I leased onto them was actually after they had switched their name back to CFI. They had been bought out. Conway had bought them out. And I think Conway really kind of ruined that company. Because when I worked for them, I never worked for them when they were Conway. Worked for them before, and then I worked for them after. But, you know, I don't know. It was, to me, it was almost like, what do you call it, sacrilege or whatever, for them to be bought out by Conway. And now they're owned by a Canadian holdings company. So they're controlled by that. What is shipped to now? Okay. Yep. Anyways, we got 11 people in here. Looks like the chat is slowed down. I'm going to be hopping out of here. It's 9:02 right now, guys. Hope you guys have an awesome day, and we'll see you on the next one. Let's see. Willis said 23 thumbs up. Going to cut grass. Enjoy. All right. We'll see you later. Yeah, I still got to go get lawnmower blades for my riding mower. Otherwise, I'm going to be push mowing an entire acre. Let's see. What is she up to now? Said Canada laws. Oh man, that jump are not the same as America too. Yeah. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed day, everyone. Yeah, I mean, Canada, I think when I used to run into Canada, we still ran on US laws. But yeah, they're just a little bit different. And so we had to conform to their laws too when we'd run over there. Betty English said, got to get around, call to see if mower part is in, then go see about insurance. Huh. I never got an answer from you, Mom, on where you ordered that mower part. But I don't know if you ordered it from the place here that's pretty close by me. But if you did, I mean, they may have it in already. A lot of times when I order stuff through them, it'll be in and they don't give me a call back because they're super busy. Joy Blessed Life said, have a great day. Crazy Ed said, have a great day. All right, guys, we'll see you later. Have a great day. See you next Monday.